Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Priscilla, and today we'll be talking about a webinar related to school parking zones. We'll be talking about navigating the school parking zone process and how to obtain the parking permits for your staff. And with us, we have Lais from DDOT, who's the school parking zone program manager, as well as a program analyst. And we also have David Lipscomb from DDOT as well. Sorry, I don't know your title, so if you want to introduce yourself, you can do so as well.
It's all good. Thanks, Priscilla. Good afternoon, folks. I'm David Lipscomb. I am the curbside manager. I manage the curbside programs branch, of which Lais is a member. And we are responsible for the school parking zone program, among other programs. Priscilla and Lais, you're in good hands with them. They're going to walk through the program today, get folks reacclimated with our school parking zone program. Hopefully we'll be able to answer all the questions that you all have today. Just kind of want to remind folks that this is a still relatively new program. We recognize there are some very specific needs from some of our school communities that we're trying to work through. So we're going to talk about the program and some of the parameters around that. We are also looking to get feedback continually as we engage through this process about what's working well for the program and what ways you think it can be improved. That's something we very much want to do as we enter, I think, the fourth year of the program. But again, Lais and Priscilla are great contacts for your day-to-day. But if you're unable to reach them or have other concerns, again, you can reach out to me. But with that, I'll turn it over to Priscilla and Lais to execute the webinar. Thanks.
Thank you, David.
Thank you.
All right. So today on our agenda, I'll talk about Code EasyGo. We'll go over the school parking zone program overview and about the application process. And at the end of the presentation, you'll have a chance to ask questions and we'll answer all of the questions you have today. So if you're not familiar with Code EasyGo is an initiative of the District Department of Transportation, and we provide leading resource for transportation information and options, and we encourage the use of sustainable transportation. We also offer complementary transit resources and consulting services to DC organization and commuters, as well as school, and I am the school outreach coordinator, so I work with all of the DCPS, charter, and private schools. The school parking zone program is just for the DCPS and the charter schools, so we'll be focusing on that today. And our Go DC Go's goal serves to decrease traffic congestion, improve air quality, and create a better quality of life in the DC area. So a little bit about school parking zone. There's the overview. Before we start the whole process, I want to talk a little bit about the abbreviations we'll be going through. So you'll be hearing a lot about these abbreviations throughout the presentation, as well as while you work towards your school parking zone parking passes. ANC, Advisory Neighborhood Commission, a nonpartisan neighborhood body made up of locally elected representatives called Advisory Neighborhood Commissioners. RPP, which is the Residential Parking Permit. SCC, who is the School Transportation Coordinator, who's just the point of contact at your school who will be working towards getting the parking permit. SPZ, which is the school parking zone, and TDM, which is the transportation demand management. I can pass it on to Lais, who will be talking about more about school parking zone program. There you go. Lais.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. Let's start with a quick overview of the school parking zone program. This initiative originates from the Daytime School Parking Zone Act, which applies to all DCPS and charter schools, which are roughly 300 in total. The program for the 2025 to 2026 school year officially launches on May 12, 2025. The permits that will be valid for the entire school year with a grace period from August 15, 2025 to September 15, 2026. And the cost is $50 per permit. And why is this necessary? Well, about half of our school staff live outside of DC and they drive into work, and many risk parking in 2-hour zones, leading to tickets. In fact, 2/3 of residential parking permit citations, they take place within 1/3 of a mile of schools. I thought we had a map, Priscilla. Maybe, there you go. This map shows citation hotspots as of November 2019. Here's an overview of how the school parking zone permits work. The permits, they're valid in residential parking permit zones in one or more ANCs. They can be issued for vehicles with DC, Maryland, or Virginia tags, and they are distributed through parkdc.com. The permits, they are not issued directly to the staff, but rather to the designated coordinator. Usually it's determined by each school, and then that coordinator is going to manage the distribution. Each permit costs $50 per year, which aligns with the RPP annual fee, and the school can decide whether the cost is going to be covered by the staff or by the school itself.
I'll talk a little bit about benefits of the school parking zone program. Using the school parking zone program, parking permits is faster initial implementation. It'll serve more people, which will be more efficiently as well. There's no loss of parking zones for residents, and it's flexible and adjustable, which means that if there's any changes in the future, you can do so by requesting to us. And with that, the school parking zone program also gives you and the admin a chance to encourage staff to switch to sustainable transportation. There's less chances for the staff to receive parking tickets, and yeah, those are some of the the benefits of the school parking zone program.
Okay. When it comes to how many permits each school is going to receive, we follow an allocation strategy. In the first year, each school is capped based on the number of staff vehicles commuting to work minus the number of parking spaces already available. Then that cap, it's reduced each year until we reach our long-term goal, which is aligned with the DDOT's Comprehensive Transportation Review guidelines. And these guidelines, they emphasize reducing parking where transit options are more accessible. As you can see here on the chart, schools located closer to Metro Rail or Priority Transit, they will receive fewer permits per staff member. For example, if a school is within a 1/4 mile of Metro Rail, the target is 1 space per 6 staff members. The farther from transit, the more permits are allowed per staff. Let's walk through how the permits are distributed. It starts with the school transportation coordinator. Usually it's going to be the school administrator, creating a Park DC permits account. That account gets a pool of permits for staff use. Staff members then create their own Park DC account, labeling themselves as school staff. The coordinator sends a unique code to the authorized staff, who then use it to request their permit. And once approved, either the staff member or the school can pay the $50 fee. And this process ensures that only eligible staff receive permits and gives each school control over how those permits are distributed. Here's a screenshot of the parkdc.com website. You can see here you create an account as school staff admin or school staff. You're gonna need to provide name, a username, an email, and create a password to create your account if you don't already have one. Another information that they're gonna need for when you create your account. And that's the dashboard that you're gonna see any information related to the school parking zone. That's where the code is gonna be generated, and also how many permits you're gonna receive. On the left, you have the sample of a permit, and that permit should be printed and displayed on the driver's side of the dashboard. And with this permit, you can park on either an RPP zone that you can identify with those green signs, or an ROP zone that you can identify with this red sign.
I'll be talking a little bit about the school prerequisites before you apply for the school parking zone application. So before you apply for the school parking zone program and application, you need to appoint a school transportation coordinator. I mentioned earlier, they're just a point of contact at the school that will manage the school parking zone application process, other transportation related communication, as well as they can be the admin who's going to distribute the parking passes as well. Before and after that, you'll have to distribute a commuter survey to your staff. You can work with Codicico on your survey. We'll send you a link to you, and then you can disseminate to your staff as well. And you need to create a TDM plan. So within the TDM plan, you need to reach out to Codicico for, you can reach out to Codicico for any assistance, and we're happy to help you with your goals, any strategies you might need, or just everything tailored to your school. And you need to reach goal level, transportation all-star level, or create strategies to get to the goal level. So throughout the year, either you need to reach a goal level, all transportation level, or you need to create strategies. And like I mentioned before, but you can begin the SPZ process on May 12, 2025. So you can start requesting for links, start working on your TDM plan, yep. And I mentioned about the survey threshold before. Surveys must meet the required response threshold before you submit the application. So the survey results will guide the strategies you develop for the TDM plan. So after we get all of the survey threshold, you can work with Codicico to create strategies, see what the results are, and manage your TDM plan accordingly. So the required threshold is based on the number of staff members at each school. So 50 employees or fewer means you need to reach a 90% survey threshold. 50 to 99 employees, 84%, 100 to 249, 70%, 250 to 499, 50%, and so on and so forth. Just wanted to let you all know that all the information we've talked about today, we'll send you all a recap email with all the resources so that you have it on file as well. So don't need to worry about taking all the notes, but we will send out a quick recap of this webinar. Just wanted to briefly talk about how the school parking zone workflow works. So you start with the prerequisite, request the survey link and TDM plan template with Codicico, and you can meet you meet the survey threshold and create a TDM plan. After the survey threshold has been met and the TDM plan is created, you can meet with Codicico to talk about your strategies, to talk about the survey threshold all together. After completing the prerequisites, you can fill out the application. Well, after the application has been filled out, the DDOT school parking zone team reviews the application and the survey results. You can give them about 3 to 4 weeks of time, 2 to 3 weeks of time, so that they can review the process and see if you are able to receive the parking pass or not, and how many parking passes you received. So you will receive the parking passes, and you can distribute the parking passes, and then work with after the parking passes has been distributed. Moving forward, you can work with Codicico to actively encourage the staff to use sustainable transportation. Codicico is always here to assist you with all the process of school parking zone program, as well as the TDM, as well as the survey as well. With survey assistance, we'll create a survey link for the schools to disseminate to the staff. You can reach out to Codicico to request updates on the survey response numbers. So that like when you need to know how many, if it has met the survey threshold or not, you can email GoDCCO to understand if you've met the survey threshold or not. So, and with the TDM plan assistant, we will suggest you all strategies based on the survey results and inform schools about available resources as well, so that in the future, if you need anything related to sustainable transportation or you want to do promotion, education, encouragement, you can always work with GoDCCO. And you can meet with our school outreach coordinator to get started with, which I am the school outreach coordinator. And so you, moving forward, you can start requesting. If you want to meet individually, you can request through my Calendly, which I'll link or show soon. So after your permit has been received, now what? You can use GoDCCO's resources to educate, encourage your staff to use sustainable transportation. And our services is not just for the staff. We also help students and families to get to and from school in a sustainable manner. So providing them resources, connecting them, additional things as well, tabling events. Encourage your staff to take sustainable transportation, host webinars and educational tabling events with GoDCCO. Educate your staff on the resources and options. Enhance your transportation benefits to reduce the drive alone rate. You can also request a custom get around guide for your school, which shows all of the sustainable transportation around you, and it's a huge hit around. It's a huge. A lot of SCCs request that, and a lot of the schools like it as well, since it shows all of the sustainable transportation around you, and you can encourage your community, staff, students to use the sustainable transportation as well. And we have listed, we have a list of all the school parking zone resources. These are all the links. So when you get this recap email, you can also click on the program guide plan of the frequently asked questions, how to log into parking permits, so it's easier for you to find all of the resources in one file. And that's all the information we have for school parking zone program. We have our information over here. You can reach us either through email or phone number. But if you'd like to schedule a meeting with me, it's just with GoDCCO, the school outreach coordinator. You can use this QR code to schedule a meeting with me. But we are open to questions, comments, anything. You can drop it down in our question and answer section. So that'd be great. If you have any, just type in and we can answer all of the questions. Right now we have, thanks for the recap notes. So yes, we will be sending out the notes. So there's a question. If you get 50 permits, but then only distribute 10, do you have to pay for all of them? So if you get 50 permits and only distribute 10, you don't have to pay off all of them. You just have to pay for the 10 that has been active. And in the future, for example, a person changes their license plate, or there's a change in name or anything, you can also request with us and we'll help you change the information as well. Any other additional question? Like there's, okay, yep. Do the permits have to be assigned to the same car staff member for the full year, or can they be switched? This is a tricky question. Lais, do you know the answer? Because I know in the past we've told people that they might not be able to change it, but I'm not sure about that. Lais, if you have an answer, we can answer it right now, but if you don't have an answer and we need to get back, we can do so as well.
Yeah, I believe we can switch permits.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, sounds good then. So you are allowed to change the assignment for the permits. Is this opportunity available to private or non-public schools? So this opportunity is only available to public charter schools and DCPS, which is public schools as well as charter schools, not for the private schools, sorry. Another question. Am I correct that the number of permit is meant to decrease each year? So if I have 10 permits in year 1, would only get 80 permits in year 2, etc. Like if you could talk a little bit about I know in the past we've said that there's going to be a decrease in parking permits, but if Lice could talk a little bit about it, the audience would know about the information as well.
Yeah, I might need Dave's help on that one, but yes, that number will be reduced, but it's not there isn't a right amount of number that we're going to be reducing every year, if that makes sense.
Yeah, let me jump in, please. So,
Thanks.
right, when we originally conceptualized this program, the idea is to use that formula to determine a target number of permits based on a few different factors like proximity to transit and other factors. We recognize, based on some of the feedback we've gotten in earlier years, that trying to hit those targets may be a difficult task for many schools. So this year, if you have previously been in the program, we are not going to be doing the reduction targets this year. So assuming that your school staff size is the same or relatively the same, you should be getting about the same number of permits. We do want to try to get feedback from folks as they're doing their planning for the year, just to get a sense of whether or not those reduction targets can be resumed, if there are other resources that we think we may be able to provide to help schools get to that point. But really, we want to hear from folks who are in the program about how you're using the permits and what are things that are going to be helpful to you. But for this cycle, we are not going to be doing the reduction targets. We're going to revisit the formula by which we determine the number of permits that schools get and look at some of the things that we have in the incentive structure to help folks make that mode shift.
Any additional question? Also, if you have any question in the future, you can email us as well. So no worries if you don't have an answer, if you don't have a question right now. But I'm gonna give folks maybe a few seconds to ask questions. If not, we're done with the school parking zone program presentation. So you can start reaching out. We would love you all if we would like if you all could request the survey link and start the process sooner so that you can distribute the survey, get the survey threshold and meet the survey threshold on time so that when August or when the school resumes, there's not going to be a lot of so that you don't have to request or we don't have to scramble through giving you all parking permits, and the school staff is readily available to just park and use the permit. All right, looks like that's all the questions we have today. Again, if you have any questions, you can reach out to us, but thank you so much for joining us to learn about the school parking zone program.